Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Tuesday, the 20th of February. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Any kind of accident you're involved in, it wasn't your fault. You deserve to be compensated. I send you to the title sponsor of everything ZASLOW Show 2.0. Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. So glad to have you guys here with us to, not start the week. It's Tuesday. Yesterday was President's Day. I didn't take off yesterday because it was President's Day. So I had an action-packed weekend. Here's what happened. By the way, obviously there's no more football, but BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs. That includes pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today. Become part of the team. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, I didn't take off yesterday because of President's Day. And you guys know, normally, even with holidays, I don't take off. Like, why not? Pump out a show. Let's do it. Come on now. But my son, so I worked all throughout the weekend, which, by the way, because, I'm on ESPN radio, so I do almost every Saturday and Sunday, and also a couple days during the week. Like, tonight, I'm all with my girl Amber Wilson, all right? So, 7 to 10 p.m., please listen tonight, ESPN Radio, SiriusXM Channel 80, the ESPN app, or locally, ESPN 106.3 FM West Palm. I'm on with the top girl, Amber Wilson, tonight, ESPN Radio. So, I'm on a lot, obviously. I'm on sometimes during the week, usually 1 or 2 days during the week, and almost always Saturday and Sunday. As a result, by the way, because I'm on so often, it's not like, the weekend's here, we don't work. I have officially begun to lose track of days. I can't tell apart Saturday from Sunday, Friday from Saturday. Like, I was thinking the other day, it was like a day or two ago, what did I do yesterday? What day was yesterday? I couldn't remember what day it was yesterday because I don't have as defined weekdays and weekends anymore. And I'm losing, the days are starting to mesh together. Now, that's not why I didn't do a show yesterday. I didn't do a show yesterday because my son, my older son, Corey, who we know is a goalie for 2009 boys Weston Select, U15. They had the Weston Cup this weekend. And I didn't get to go to the game on Saturday. I missed the games on Sunday as well because I was working. So his team did great. They got through the bracket. They actually ended up being the wild cards. They made it to the semifinals through the Weston Cup, leading to them playing on Monday, where there's a semifinal in the afternoon, 12:30 yesterday. There's a semifinal in the afternoon, and if they win that, they go to the finals. So I had soccer. They did not win the tournament. So I had soccer all day yesterday. It was a wacky day. I hosted Driving the Line in the morning, youtube.com/@drivingline. It's your sports betting brand of record. So go check that out. Jonathan Coachman, Alan Bell. I'm on with those guys every Monday. I also make guest appearances otherwise throughout the week. And I filled in and hosted because Coach was out doing the PGA Tour yesterday. So between doing Driving the Line, then I had to go to the soccer fields with my son. I couldn't find the moment to record the show yesterday. And because it was a holiday, I was like, all right, we'll take it off, all right? And we'll be back at it on Tuesday. So I apologize for you guys who are looking for, you're the best. I apologize. You were looking for ZASLOW Show 2.0. You didn't get it yesterday. But look, I got a lot to say as far as the All-Star goes. Now, we've been starting shows with a little update on what happened last night. No NBA. As far as the college hoops go, number 2, Houston beats Iowa State. Number 6, Iowa State. Great game last night, 73-65. That was one of my plays yesterday on Driving the Line. Iowa State, plus 8.5. They cover. So there you go. Houston wins by 8. That's really the only thing of note that took place last night. Otherwise, we do have your Florida Panthers back in action tonight. So the Panthers, they have Ottawa tonight. They come off, the Panthers have won 11 in a row Sixth team ever in NHL history to do that. 11 in a row on the road. This is a Stanley Cup team. It is. Like I was asked last week in Mailbag, what's the expectation for the Panthers this year? What should the goal? The expectation is win the Stanley Cup. This team has arrived. We're in the golden era of Florida Panthers hockey. We've never had a stretch like this. And with that comes this expectation. They got to the Stanley Cup final last year. Now it's time to win it. And this is clearly a Stanley Cup team. You see the way they perform now, 11 straight wins on the road. The way that they performed in the playoffs last year is exactly how they have performed so far this regular season. It took them all of last year to adapt to Paul Maurice's style. I was dead wrong about Paul Maurice. I'm so glad I was dead wrong. That's my dog. Sergei Bobrovsky, that's my dog too. And now the offense, Reinhart, even Kachuk who's gotten going, Barkov, so many assists for Hagee. This team, and defensively, they're better defensively than they are offensively. This is a Stanley Cup team. I'm so excited to get to the playoffs again. And seeing what happened this past weekend, 11 straight win on the road, and it was at the Lightning. 9-2, took that ass on Saturday night. That's right. The Panthers, they give up a goal the first 25 seconds into the game. They're down 1-0. As it turns out, the Lightning bookended the game with goals. First goal of the game, last goal of the game. The Panthers in between scored 9 unanswered goals. Kicked the shit out of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I hate them so much, and we embarrassed them. And the Lightning, while I don't know if the Lightning are great this year, they're still pretty good. And also to that effect, they had won 10 in a row at home. So the Panthers went in there, took that ass. We own you, Vasilevsky. And the idea of, when the playoffs roll around, do we want to play the Lightning in the playoffs? The answer to that is yes. I want to end the Lightning season. It feels like the way to win the Stanley Cup. We have to exercise that demon as well. They got to the Stanley Cup Finals last year without having to face the Lightning. But the Lightning beat us the previous 2 years. In 2022, they kicked our ass in the second round. In 2021, phenomenal series, lost in 6 games. I want the Lightning in the worst way this postseason. And right now, the Panthers, number 1 in the Eastern Conference. Number 1 seed in the entire East. Obviously, number 1 in the Atlantic Division. That was beautiful to watch on Saturday. And tonight's a big one. Why is tonight a big one? They're facing Ottawa. Who cares? Ottawa's the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Who cares about facing the Senators tonight at Amerant Bank Arena? You'll remember the last time these teams played, it was in Ottawa a couple months ago. That was the game with all the brawls. The Kachuk brothers, Brady Kachuk is captain of the Ottawa Senators. Now they don't fight each other. They promised their mother they'll never fight each other. That's a true story. You had all the brawls that game where you had players getting thrown out left and right. You looked at the Panther bench at one point late in the game. They had like 5 guys sitting on the bench. It was a joke. Well, tonight, if you're thinking about going to the Panther game, now I'm working tonight. Otherwise, I would go. If you're thinking about going to the Panther game tonight, you better get your ass on SeatGeek. You know I'm the Ticket Ninja. You can find the good prices there. If you need a little help, you could send me a DM. Ladies, DMs are always open for you. But you could send me a DM if you want to know some advice from the Ticket Ninja. You better get your ass that Panther game tonight. It's going to be a slugfest. We're going to kick the shit out of them, and we're going to kick the shit out of them on the ice, and we're going to beat the shit out of them with our fists. That's what's going to happen tonight. Panthers and Senators. You know what I'm talking about. So, as you can tell, I'm obviously very fired up over the Panthers right now, and deservedly so. Now, before I get to what I'm also fired up, let me tell you how we're going to enjoy tonight after I get off the air with Amber Wilson, top girl. I'm going to sit on the couch in the ZASLOW Mansion family room. Maybe I'll catch up on some of my stories. I don't know. I did watch all of Monday Night Raw. Great episode last night. But I'm going to enjoy a little moment to myself on the ZASLOW Mansion family room couch with an ice-cold Johnny Cuba in my hand. You know how we do here in the ZASLOW Mansion? Johnny Cuba, official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0. That's right, European roots with that Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. You know what I'm talking about. Pick up a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba for yourself. Your local Sedanos, Presidente, Winn-Dixie, Fresco y Mas. I love when you guys try Johnny Cuba for the first time and you send me either a picture or video. You crack it open for the very first time. Make sure it's good pour, no foam. That's amateur hour. Come on. And then you send it to me. I post it on Instagram. I'm an influencer. So then you become famous and everyone sees Johnny Cuba. My man Juan, he loves when he sees that. So if you're cracking open a Johnny for the very first time, send me on over a picture on Instagram. We'll post it and everyone becomes best friends. Johnny Cuba, make sure you always drink responsibly. And of course, don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra, stay tranquilo. So, let's get to what everybody wants to hear about. And it's been the conversation for really the last few days. NBA All-Star Weekend. Let's start with the good. All-Star Saturday night, overall, very good. I really enjoyed the skills competition. I liked the LED floor. I always like those type of wacky games with, the dribbling, the bouncing the ball through the hoop. I like the windmill that was spinning around to distract them from shooting the three-pointer in the corner. I like, when we're doing a competition, there's a timer, it's team, I like that stuff. I dug the skills competition. You had a Pacers team. You had a number 1 overall picks team. Anthony Edwards was shooting the three with the left hand. You know what? I can't even get on him about that because it's a skills competition. It's supposed to be fun. If you want the opportunity to show everybody, hey, you can make jumpers with the left hand, although he hit the backboard on 2 of them, the side of the backboard, go ahead. That's the time to do it. You want to show everybody how skilled you are in a skills competition, shoot with the left hand, I can't get on you for that. And then you also had you had the Pacers team, you had a number 1 overall pick team, and then you had an all-star team. All right, the Pacer team won, which is cool. It was Matherin and Halliburton and Miles Turner. So I like the skills competition. Then we get to the three-point shootout. The three-point shootout is always great. Matter of fact, it should always go on last because you're going to end on a high note no matter what. Three-point shootout's always great. It's always a display of incredible ability, incredible skill. That's always going to be good. Damian Lillard wins for the second year in a row. Then after that, and I do like how they spiced it up over the last few years where they added the starry ball, where it's way behind the line. That's worth 3 points. I like how you could choose where to put the money ball rack. That's all worth 2 points apiece. All 3-point shootouts, always money. And then you had what I think was the event everyone was looking forward to most. Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu. It was great. And I was down on it originally because I felt like it was a no-win situation for Ionescu. Shooting from the men's line was the right move. You got to do that. She was shooting with a women's ball. It is what it is. But I didn't think there was any real kind of blowback as far as, Steph Curry won. There wasn't, a woman can't beat a man. She had a great performance. She scored 26. And that's why it was so odd when Kenny Smith was given the commentary on the call that she should have shot from the women's line. Well, no, she shouldn't have shot from the women's line. Like, why doesn't she then just shoot free throws? It's a 3-point contest. You have to shoot from the same line. Why doesn't she just shoot layups then while Steph Curry shoots from the 3-point line? They have to shoot from the same line. You want her to shoot from the ball she's normally accustomed to? Fine, I could look past that. But they have to shoot from the same line. So that was an excellent job by Sabrina Ionescu doing that. And for Kenny Smith to be critical of it, saying she should have shot from the regular line. Kenny, she scored as many points as the high scorer in the 3-point shootout. Damian Lillard had 26 in the final round. She scored 26. And she lost to 29, which she missed both of the starry balls. Make one of those, it's tied. So I thought Kenny Smith was way off in his commentary. She was fantastic. Why should she have shot from the women's line? She held right up against everybody. The only person that night who beat her was the guy she was facing, Steph Curry. If she would have went against any other competitor that night, she beat them or tied them. Come on, Kenny, you're off base. And then you had the bad, which was the dunk contest. The dunk contest should not be closing the night anymore because it's very hit or miss. When you get Aaron Gordon versus Zach Levine, that's great to end the night on. But then sometimes you get what we saw the other night, and it's a dud. And I'm never a big fan of the dunk contest, but I watched it because, look, Jaime Jaquez Jr. is in it, and I just came off doing NBA Primetime on ESPN Radio or preview and everything. So like, what else am I doing tonight? I may as well watch the whole event. I never watched the dunk contest, and I was livid while watching this. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, and I'm sitting there telling you the fix is in for Jaylen Brown. It's one thing you don't want, like, you know what it was like? Jaime Jaquez Jr. dunked over Shaq. Jaylen Brown jumped over some YouTuber sitting down, and that gets a higher score? If there's, you know what it was like? It was like in an actual game when the star player gets the calls that the rookie doesn't get. That's what you got in the dunk contest. The star player, Jaylen Brown, was getting scores that the rookie, Jaime Jaquez Jr., was not going to get. These judges were the drizzling shits. And just because it says Boston on his jersey, they kept giving him high scores. Jaylen Brown's dunks were nothing. They were a nothing every time. And they kept giving him the top scores. Mac McClung had great dunks. He obviously deserved to win it. But if McClung didn't win it at the end, that contest was rigged. And I don't believe in conspiracy theories. And matter of fact, I will tell you, at least the first couple rounds, that contest in Jaylen Brown's favor was so rigged. I almost got up off the ZASLOW Mansion fan room couch in my underwear holding a Johnny Cuba in my hand. I almost shut it off and walked away. I was so mad. Maybe I was a couple beers deep. I was so mad with this dunk contest. And, like, who the hell cares? I mean, my God. Jaylen Brown. Just because he's Jaylen Brown, highest paid player in the NBA, which is also bullshit. Just because he's got Boston on the front of his jersey was the only reason he had advanced that far. That was a disgrace, that dunk contest. My goodness, Jaylen Brown. He jumped over a guy sitting down. Who the hell cares? Man. So, oh, and by the way, let me also say about Curry and Ionescu. It seemed like George Sedano on the floor there was he essentially confirmed, we're going to do this again. We're going to run it back next year in the Bay Area. If they want to do that, fine. But this should be a yearly thing where you saw Steph Curry's got a belt. He defended the belt. Every year, somebody should challenge Steph Curry to go one-on-one for it. Now, it can't be you're doing that instead of being in the three-point shootout. Because, like, the NBA players, you got to be in the three-point shootout. We all know Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time, and he's the champion. He's got that belt. But if you want, like, next year, Caitlin Clark, she should challenge Steph Curry. Or it could be NBA alumni. What if Reggie Miller says, hey, my turn. And Reggie Miller takes off the headset and he challenges Steph Curry. What if one year Ray Allen says, hey, young buck, I still got it. I'm challenging you for that belt. You got it, like, get either former players or it could be WNBA players. Not NBA players. They got to be in the actual three-point shootout. But Steph Curry's the greatest. Can somebody take it off of him? And then you're able to hype it up because it's something unique. It's either against a WNBA player or it's against a former all-time great three-point shooter like the two guys that I just mentioned. That's how I would do that. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?